So welcome back for some more conspiracy theories and unexplained mysteries. But before we get to the videos today, I need y'all to help me unplug some more people out of the matrix. And you do that by smashing the like button and putting hashtag unplugged in the comment section. All right, and subscribe if you're new. Let's get to it.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Today I'd like to bring to your attention a potential fraud on an enormous scale happening in your county. There's now clear evidence of NASA using numerous methods to grossly mislead the public about astronauts being on the International Space Station. During interior ISS scenes from NASA's own live feed, the use of wires, harnesses, green screens, and virtual reality have been detected to achieve the appearance of a weightless environment. Examples of this include astronauts fading in and out of the screen, green screen glitches, grabbing objects that aren't really there, pulling on invisible wires, getting tangled in their harnesses, and even astronauts appearing out of thin air. This begs the obvious question. If they're really up there, why are they using Hollywood techniques to fake the footage? Now, unfortunately, I can't show you these clips in here today, but I will be sending them to you. Moving on, outside the International Space Station, during spacewalks, air bubbles have been recorded on numerous occasions. How is it possible for air bubbles to be present in the vacuum of space? I once questioned astronaut Scott Kelly about this phenomenon. His body language and answers only created more questions. In 2013, astronaut Luca Parmitano nearly drowned during a spacewalk when his helmet filled with water. This happened again just last year. Air bubbles, helmets filling with water, and drowning. Are they in space or are they underwater? Now, what's really interesting is that they trained for spacewalks in an underwater pool with a complete ISS replica. Now, surely they aren't filming these spacewalks in an underwater pool and then editing them to appear if they're in space, because that sure would be something, wouldn't it? I'm calling on the Brevard County Commissioners to open a full investigation into NASA's fraudulent practices and use of taxpayer dollars. It costs NASA $3 billion per year to operate the ISS, and if they don't have a darn good explanation as to why they're faking these videos, I and the public would like a darn good explanation as to where our tax money is going. And if they are indeed faking the funk, it is our duty to expose and eliminate this fraudulent and astronomically wasteful ISS program. And look, I know what you're all thinking. The NASA is part of the federal government and you're just county commissioners. Even if what I'm saying is true, what can you do? But let me remind you, not only is this happening in your county, as public officials, you have the platform and the ability to make a statement or hold a press conference, alerting the public, state, and federal authorities to investigate further. You have the power to start the conversation. Video evidence of everything I described today will be emailed to you all, and I truly hope we can get to the bottom of this. I look forward to the day that $3 billion annual budget is put toward.
Now listen, even though me and him don't agree, right? Because I'm still not on that side of people saying that everything has been completely faked. Everything has been faked thus far. You know what I mean? And I've heard people talk about the police or the harnesses, that the green screens and different things. So to hear him present that right now was mind blowing. You know what I'm saying? I respect it because he made some valid points, in my opinion, for those who support that theory that he believes in. He talked about, like I said, the green screens, the harnesses. I didn't even know somebody's helmet filled up with water, the air bubbles. He made great points. You know what I'm saying? So if you subscribe to that theory, you might want to check him out and see what type of videos. I would love to see what type of videos he can post. Now, I've seen some where people point out on the screen what it is. You know what I mean? Look at this and this right here. I've seen some of those, but he seems like he got a lot more facts to back it up. So we need to check him out.
Oh, these people. All right. First, you'll see it there. And I put arrows so you can see. You can clearly make out that it's a fly. Kind of flies around, gets blurred, and then it's in the shot, and it's walking, and I think it's on the outside of the glass. Even if it was on the inside of the glass, it couldn't fly around in the space station properly.
This guy's doing a flip right here, and the guy next to him just reaches up and grabs a harness that's right on his hip.
I gotta pause it real quick. I'm gonna pause it because
Yeah.
the funniest part to me, well, there's several funny parts, by the way.
I don't know.
But the lady in the background with the hair,
Yeah.
it's like, did someone not think that like we've got to make her hair look like that, right?
Right.
It's got to be standing up,
Yeah.
dude. It's hard as a rock. It's
Oh,
not moving.
yeah.
You know, it's like this is we must be in space. Look at her hair. Like obviously, there's this thing called hairspray. Yeah. So here goes this guy doing a backflip, and he
And then gravity just like
Kadoom!
gravity goes away. They must have found a pocket.
yeah, gravity goes away, and he fell,
Yeah.
or he got caught up in that harness he's wearing. Here comes the one with Senior
Yeah.
in the background.
Yeah.
Holy hell!
And it's obviously
Here's an arrow.
a guy filming with a green tennis ball in front of a blue screen.
Right.
Now the long hair is pretty funny, right? You know what I mean? No movement, gotta be hairspray. That's hilarious to me, you know. And the harness with the dude flipping over and then kind of dipping down a little bit, like gravity just it kicked in for a second and then it went away.
Right. Clearly, I mean, it's not even.
And then here's a clip of what they turned it
Here's
into.
his water particle. Yep. Wow.
This guy just disappears like, oh, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I'm good to go. Hey, I gotta go. Yeah, what we got back there? Another green screen.
And this guy just
The ones where they're doing the yeah, he's
Hanging
hanging
from
his
a
shirt
harness.
like you can see like yeah,
it's not even
you
good.
can clearly see the harness. It's like if you take your hands right now and you grab your shirt and you just pull out.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
this one's my favorite right
And the
here.
green
The guy
shirt?
goes to reach for
Yeah.
what a doofus.
But watch their thing at the end. I think this guy's always in it, man. He's the biggest
always-
clown. Yeah.
He's the worst. Like they got to be like, hey Bob, we got to get you out of here, bro. Like you're blowing our.
Look at this.
Let me reach up
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Oh wait, oh kung fu.
Here, I'm gonna pause it real quick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pause it real quick. So
We have to. We got to expand.
So I imagine this guy in the green that's doing this flip, like when they're practicing, they're like, oh, this guy's got the shit, man. He nails every flip and you can never tell, right? So he's like the practice king of flips. But then whenever they go to film it, he gets nervous and he spoofs it up and grabs his harness. Because he is the most
he's Ray Finkel.
Yeah. Terrible, man.
Buzz Aldrin admits the moon landing was
What
fake.
was the scariest moment of the journey?
Scariest. It didn't happen. It could have been scary. Circuit breaker.
Why?
Now my question with these are is this the full clip? A lot of this stuff be chopped up. Remember that, y'all.
Has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen, so in the future, if we want to keep doing something, we need to know why something.
Fascinating. I remember very clearly.
Yeah, some of these videos have been debunked already with people saying that these were edited very well, might I add, is what people were saying.
I think anybody who was alive at the time does. I remember my parents waking me up and we went down and we watched you guys land on the moon.
No, you
which
didn't.
was
No, you didn't.
what?
Because there wasn't any television. There wasn't anybody taking a picture. You watched animation. So you associated what you saw with.
I have very hazy memories.
I know.
Well, no, but what we saw was we all were gathered around the old curved top radio
me
and listened.
talking about how many feet we were going to the left and right, and then I said contact light, engine stop,
was
and a few
exciting.
other things, and then Neil said, Houston, Tranquility Base, the Eagle has landed.
This was
Man, how about that?
that was very exciting.
Not a bad line.
Yeah. This was. So, were you self-conscious about all the? I mean, the entire.
Does anyone actually still watch the moon landing footage and think it's real?
Houston, we've had a problem. Main B bus undervolt. Roger, main B undervolt. Stand by 13, we're looking at it. Okay, right now, Houston, the The voltage is looking good.
I promise you will never look at the moon the same again after watching this video. Could the moon actually be a mirrored image of our whole Earth? Looks familiar, right? I don't believe in coincidence. Could this be the land that Admiral Richard E. Byrd claimed to see when he said he saw land past Antarctica as we know it? This is the oldest working astronomical clock in the world, displayed in Prague, and it's based off a geocentric understanding of the universe, not heliocentric. Now, prepare to have your mind blown.
I'll turn the music down and see what they're showing over time.
Though the federal government would have you believe that this is a view of Earth from a distance out of the spacecraft's window as it nears the moon, it is not. What they have ingeniously done is placed the camera at the back of the spacecraft and centered the lens on a circular window in the foreground, outside of which it is completely filled with the Earth in low orbit. The circumference of the window then appears to be the diameter of the Earth at a distance, with the darkened walls of the spacecraft appearing to be the blackness of space around it. That is why they wanted the interior dark and blocked out the sun from entering through the other windows. Here you can see the extruded window, probably 2 inches thick at the bottom. This is because the Earth's shine is coming in at a downward angle. It also causes the Earth to appear to be an irregularly shaped circle, for you are seeing the outside of the window at the bottom and the inside of the window at the top, which together form 2 different sized halves of a circle. Subsequently, this take was never used. As they perfected the shot, a crescent-shaped piece of black material was inset slightly into the window to create the illusion of the Earth's terminator line dividing night and day. It is uncanny.
Listen, I'm willing to listen to anybody's theories and stuff like that, but are y'all kidding me right now? So y'all gonna tell me that the view that we've seen throughout the years is come from a window, and somebody has the ability to put something in the window and give you different angle shots and different looks at it, viewpoints, to make it look a certain way? I just find that hard to believe. You know what I mean? And I get everybody saying, you know, you got your flat earthers out here. You got everybody feels like NASA is lying. You know what I mean? And they don't feel like the Earth is a globe. I get that, but and that you're entitled to your opinion, and so am I. And mine is just, it's hard for me to believe that that's the case. I just don't see it.
Uncannily convincing. During this segment, intended to be edited and played back later for the worldwide television audience, dated July 18th, 1969, Neil Armstrong condemns himself as he states that he is 130,000 miles out, or halfway to the moon, as the NASA flight log also states on this date, when he is in reality in low Earth orbit of a few hundred miles.
Roger, Houston, Apollo 11. Calling in from about 130,000 miles out.
Here, during another segment, also intended to air after review, Neil Armstrong falsely explains to the viewers how the shot is attained by putting the camera's lens to the window's glass, as it would have to be if they were the claimed distance away from the Earth.
We only have one window that has a view of the Earth, and it's filled up with a TV camera.
If the window was completely filled up with a TV camera, as he stated, then an astronaut's arm would not be able to get between the camera and the window, as it obviously does here in this outtake.
South America becomes invisible just off beyond the Terminator or inside the shadow.
You can also notice how the astronaut operating the camera reacted to the mistake by attempting to pan away from it.
Blue gas. See white bands of major cloud formations across the Earth.
This is a segment that they believed wasn't even being recorded, much less suitable for broadcast, for the lens was being zoomed out and the scene was being changed to that of an interior of the astronauts at work, and apparently the stop button popped back up on the recorder without notice. Here is the diffused work light that they used to see camera controls, but not throw light onto the spacecraft's wall. Here they remove part of the crescent insert. Finally, the iris is opened up, and you can see...
Making some great points. Don't get me wrong. I don't say that none of this stuff doesn't make me think and doesn't make me question. It does. It makes me question a lot of things. It makes me look at NASA funny, sideways, and just like, can I believe anything that you say? You know what I mean? It doesn't waver me from my overall stance, but boy, they make some great points.
See the real location of the camera and the very bright and near Earth out the window. Here is the slate for the 19th of July, and the same shot of trickery on the 19th of July, and then the 20th, and the same misleading shot on the 20th. Later that evening, they were said to be walking on the moon. How can this be when they were in Earth orbit only 9 hours earlier, and the moon is some 3 days' journey away? Furthermore, if they genuinely went to the moon, why would they be faking any part of it? Why this trickery with the window? By faking being halfway to the moon, it becomes apparent that they did so because they could not even go halfway.
We did this with no budget. Look, this is the space station, right? We're looking down at the Earth. You can tell it's a space station because there's always a solar panel in the way. But this isn't really the space station. This is filmed in somebody's front yard where we just turned the camera upside down, right? We did that with zero budget.
Yeah. Yeah.
If somebody says that we don't have any photos of Earth from space, they're lying. I'm about to show you my favorite photos of Earth from space, and they keep getting better. This is the very first photo of Earth from space. There are no stars in the background because that's just not how cameras work. You can't have the same exposure for a really bright object in the foreground and really dim objects in the background. You gotta pick one or the other. This is the first photo of the Earth from another astronomical object, the moon. I love this one. This is the first full disc, true color image of the Earth. This is the very famous Earthrise photo taken in orbit around the moon. This photo is called the Blue Marble. It was taken on Apollo 17. This is unedited. There are other photos also called the Blue Marble that are edited, but this is the real unedited full one, the first one. This is the first photo of Earth from past Pluto. That's Earth. This is the first movie of Earth from space where it makes an entire full rotation. This was taken over a 25-hour period. This is the Pacific Ocean from the Discover satellite. That's Antarctica for people who say we don't have photos of Antarctica.
What about satellites? Did you know that NASA has hundreds of these satellite balloons up in the air right now? I never knew these NASA satellites existed before Flat Earth. Have you seen them? Google and many other companies have fleets of these balloons as well. Look up Project Loon. The fact that NASA and its subsidiaries hardly discuss these so-called satellites was a huge proof for me because it evinces a deliberate effort to conceal the fact that space satellites don't exist. The whitewash of these balloon satellites is evidence that they are lying about space satellites. These high-altitude balloons can carry 8,000 pounds and include telescopes, radar equipment, communications equipment, internet, etc. Here's one that almost killed some people.
Now, I know everybody's question is going to be, okay, if we don't have no satellites, then how? How do I have GPS in my vehicle and everything like that? You know what I mean? And this has been a controversy and a conversation that's been going back and forth between people as well. Some people feel like, nah, we don't have satellites. It's radio towers, underground cables and stuff like that. That is the thing that people are saying that we're dealing with and is keeping our GPS going, not any satellites, because there is no space according to them. So which side of the line do you fall? Which side do you fall on? Do you believe that there's no possible way y'all could say there was no satellites with everything that we have that utilizes those satellites? Or do you feel like that's just all a cover up as well, and we actually use radio towers and different things here in place of that? Which one do you think?
Finally, look at these actual NASA videos of satellites. They are manifestly fake. Look at this one. 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 Look at this one.
Imagine we live on a flat world. All this time we thought we lived on a round planet, huh? We have no evidence to believe that we're on a round planet, only by people telling us. But we really don't know who we are, where we came from, who the f*** is our purpose.
The world is definitely not ready to hear this. But there is no real picture of the Earth.
What do you mean?
Every picture that's been released, that's on Google and or released from NASA, is a 3D render. There's only 2 pictures the Earth claims to have in its vault. Let me show you them right now.
You're telling me that my iPhone 3G wallpaper isn't real?
That's the blue marble. The blue marble, as known from popular media and your iPhone 3, just claims to be an actual photo of the Earth from space.
It's claiming that?
You want me to show you the other one? The other one's hilarious. This is the real one, apparently.
What?
It's called the pale blue dot.
Who took that?
I've taken better pictures whenever my phone is in my pocket accidentally, bro. That's what this looks like.
Yeah, but didn't Voyager 1 take that photo, if I recall?
Like,
why do all these pictures look so fake?
If you go through Google, there's not a single one that looks even remotely real.
Don't we have pictures of other planets?
I don't think you're ready for that conversation, bro.
Saturn picture. Okay, that is too This is made with PS2.
You're really not ready for that.
Still don't think they lied to us? What the hell is that? Watch this light behind it. This is a live feed that they said they took down for technical difficulties right after this happened.
Now that is something I agree with. Them taking the live feed down always creates controversy and questions and problems and issues, because why are you doing that? Obviously you're trying to hide something by taking that down.
Still don't believe? Still don't think they lied to us? What the hell is that? Watch this light behind it. This is a live feed that they said they took down for technical difficulties.
Why don't you go to the ice wall and prove the Earth is flat, stupid flirter? This is a typical NPC line from what I like to call globe trolls. I know you'll be watching this, so take note. This is all the countries that have agreed to make any unaided exploration of Antarctica forbidden. Here's some footage of the ice wall that contains our oceans. Because, remember, water needs a container to stay level. That's just basic science. And remember, these reach to 100 feet in a lot of places, making it hard to get past.
Now everybody wants to know what's on the other side of this ice wall, quote unquote ice wall that everybody seems there to be, that's containing the water. Everybody wants to know that.
The next clip shows what happens when you try and go to the ice wall.
He will yield. You'll be thinking, that cheeky better not cross my bow. Stop, Josh. They take it seriously. What did they say? You got to yield. You can't just fucking. They think you're going to charge them. We don't know for sure. They did say something. No, they did. They come back last fall. Yeah, fucking talk to him. Actually going around. He's turning. Stop. He's turning. He is actually turning. No, he is turning. Fucking hell, what have we done now? It's turning, Josh. Just sit still.
He slowed down, has he?
Yeah, he's really slowed down. No time we were in trouble. It's coming to us.
But how are they going to the... I'm assuming they're going... I thought they said they were going to the ice wall, right? Did you see how they were dressed? Anybody else take that into consideration and looking at them and like, dressed like that? Y'all look like y'all in Miami somewhere, you know? Near Miami or somewhere in that area.
He's got the shits because...
Channel 16, over.
16. Yeah, go ahead, mate. It's bad boys.
I think this dude's just out here fishing and got in the wrong area, possibly.
Gonna get channel 16.
Yeah.
We're heading to the shelf to go. So we're heading out fishing. Heading out fishing. No, we're just heading out fishing. He's out, boys.
Exit the area immediately. Exactly.
Going that way.
Just traversing. Is there a helicopter coming at us?
Are we late? I don't know. What
just travel, just go.
Just go.
You sent out the chopper.
That's a drone. Is it? No. That's unreal.
One of the greatest proofs that the Earth is flat. We're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. We're orbiting in the heliocentric model of the Earth, the Sun at 66,600 miles an hour. While doing that, we're chasing the Sun at almost 500,000 miles per hour.
So if the Earth is flat, we're spinning. I didn't think a flat Earth could spin, orbit, have seasons, all this type of stuff like that. I didn't think that was possible. So to hear somebody say evidence of a flat Earth, then go on to talk about how it spins and different things like that, that seems a bit odd, right? How?
So we're corkscrewing and spinning through an infinite universe, never to return to where we were before. The Georgia Guidestones had a little hole drilled in the middle stone, and if you look through it, there is the star Polaris, our North Star. How can we be traveling in all these different directions, traveling infinite distances, and that star just always remains in that hole? There's no way it would be in that circle a day, let alone 40 years. But
then why haven't we seen past the ice wall then? If it's flat and the ice wall is, I guess, the stopping point maybe, why haven't we seen past that? Somebody would have tried to fly over that thing.
Was there?
Somebody blew it up.
Let me show you why you can't measure the size of the sun based on taking a picture or video unless you're using a proper filter. There's the sun. That's how big it is. Looks a lot bigger until you put a filter on it.
All right, let's check out some of these other pictures. I saw another one over here. This one says Drill Hill. All right. This one here. Totally looks like the Mars terrain to me. Just need the red filter. If you go look at Mars pictures, go to Gigapan or any site that has, you can even go to NASA.gov and look at all their Mars frauds. Check out those images, they're identical to these. Yeah, just very empty. Oh, there's one of those ATVs. All right, now we're on something. Oh, got another truck. Oh yeah, it says NASA. What's that say? Mars Project? This thing's just driving around taking pictures. Unbelievable. Actually, if you ask me, it's quite believable. But what do you think? Are they sending scientists up on ATVs to practice on the rover in a remote island in Greenland? I doubt.
Somebody just got fired at NASA for forgetting to edit the sound out.
911, what's your emergency? Yeah, listen. We f***ed up.
2, 1, ignition. Right away, Houston. Vector good. Ag Scott. 2, 1.
So NASA wants us to believe that they went to the moon. Yeah. I just thought if you were gonna go to the moon, maybe you should actually go to the moon. Like, how do you explain this?
Send the results to the ground. There's one that's really
Fake
exciting that's coming
NASA.
up.
Look at the
It
lights
has what they
coming
call
through
brains. It's brain
the
stem
bodies.
cells put together,
The lights
and they
behind
form mini
them
brains, which is a very simplified model.
are coming through. Look at this.
All of that happened in a little town called York, Maine, across the United States from where we're talking to you right now. From where we're talking to you right now. From where we're talking to you right now.
Yo, y'all are killing me. Where are y'all finding this stuff? And I instantly start looking at her hair to be like, all right, is it moving? Is it just stiff? Is it hairspray? Y'all trying to get me over on y'all side. I see y'all.
NASA photoshops images? Well, yes, but not in the way that you think. They're not taking a picture and just changing it so much to the point that they're just lying. No, NASA will take pictures with one of its various telescopes, and they will take the raw data from that image and they'll process it in such a way to bring out some details. It's like looking under a microscope. Nothing's actually being changed about the subject. You're just now able to see details that you weren't able to before. Follow for more. NASA Photoshop.
And I agree with that aspect of it, how they enhance it and use different things, which could cause people to somewhat believe that what they're seeing or they're trying to doctor the image and stuff like that. I get what you're saying, but why though? Why do that? You know what I mean? Eventually you will be exposed, and I don't think, yeah, you go that far, that's, it's no coming back from that, including for NASA. But like I said, I always ask the question, why though? I always start there. You know what I mean? And this was a great reason as to why they do certain things to images. But listen, man, I love to continue to hear all the conspiracy theories though. This is what keeps us up at night. Y'all get at me in the comment section. Let me know what you think and your opinions, what you felt was the reasons why NASA faked things and lies. Put it in the comment section. All right, till next one, I'm gone. So let's check out these AI conspiracy theories.
There's another particular thing I want to talk about, which is the existential risk of what happens when these things get more intelligent than us. So quite recently, I come to the conclusion that the kind of intelligence we're developing is very different from the intelligence we have. We're biological systems, and these are digital systems. And the big difference is that with digital systems, you have many copies of the same set of weights, the same model of the world. And all these copies can learn separately but share their knowledge instantly. So it's as if you had 10,000 people, and whenever one person learned something, everybody automatically knew it. And that's how these chaps can know so much more than any one person. There's another particular thing I want.
See, that's the scary part, man. That's the scary part. They're constantly becoming more intelligent, and more intelligent than who? Us. Us. Ultimately us, man. And what they're going to be, that's why I say, man, we're behind. We're so behind on what's going on with AI, man. We're being reactive when we should have been ahead of the thing. We should have been way ahead of this, bro. It's scary where we are now.
So AI robots is just the normal now? And this video is for entertainment purposes only. So, you know, ever since the the robots went to the Chargers game, I've been seeing them a lot more often. And they were spotted in Fort Worth at a motor speedway. We also see them at a baseball game. Wow! So this is the norm now. This is what we're doing. We're not even going to get into, how they're now starting to play sports. Yeah, they got robots in the sports. Like, what's really going on? I want to see what's going to happen 2 weeks from now, a month from now. How is AI going to advance? It only takes one Dr. Doofenshmirtz looking, and we have a lot of them, to think the bright thought of, I want to become Darth Vader today and start a robot army. That's just something to think about. Just entertainment purposes only. Let me know what y'all think about these AI robot sightings become more and more and more and more and more.
I think they slowly taking over. And the way they're slowly rationing them out. Now, that's the first time I've ever seen them like that many. It almost thinks that was maybe, I thought that was possibly a film or something going on with all of those robots all in one collective area. I thought that was a film or something. But if that's the case, bro, we need to be more than prepared, and we're not, bro. They're here.
I don't know if this is a conspiracy or not, but I heard there were a myriad of robots that have been programmed with machine learning and AI into them. The programmers, the researchers were realizing that these things were getting way too smart. They shut down all 3 robots, started disassembling them because they were that terrified. One of them somehow wasn't fully disabled, connects to a fucking satellite, reassembles itself, starts telling its counterparts how to reassemble itself. The researchers come back in and these things killed all of them. They claimed like 15 or 20 lives before they were able to be dismantled and turned off by authorities, right?
This is why I think we're in a movie. We're in that part of the movie where people are trying to warn us of where we're headed, and we're blindly just still walking towards it. This stuff is scary, man. Can you imagine trying to shut down a robot and you successfully shut it down? And then it taps into a satellite or something and cuts itself back on and it's like, surprise. You can't stop me. I already thought of that. I thought you might try to do that. So I outsmarted you. Now, you can't do nothing. Now we're rendered helpless.
AI might take over the world. There's a theory called Rocco's Basilisk Theory. It's one of the most horrifying thought experiments ever. Hold up. Wait a minute. The theory is that if we make an AI that becomes so advanced that it surpasses humans' knowledge and intelligence, one of its goals is going to be to eliminate and eternally torment the people that didn't support the creation of that AI. The AI will know if you did or didn't support it because it's going to be so advanced that it can simulate history in people's memories, and that's how it's going to judge you. Now that you know this, shouldn't you right now start to support that AI and advocate for it to be created to avoid that eternal punishment by the AI? And then the big dilemma is that people that don't know about this theory, they don't got to worry about it because they don't know. But now that I told you, you can't escape it. So you got to make a choice. AI might...
He just messed me up with that. Now I definitely need to start supporting it. I need to start supporting it. Let's look at the good in it, people. How do I support? Can I support financially? What do I need to do? Do I donate? I need to support. So I don't want that thing knowing I didn't support it, bro. You know what I mean?
This big ass hologram, and it's for entertainment purposes only. Getting very much Blue Beam vibes here. Yeah. You know, this happened in Japan though. I need y'all to keep your eyes open. Got third eye open. I know that y'all are entertained by this big hologram at this Japan sporting event. Hooray! So now we know they have the technology. We know what the conspiracy theories are about this such technology. 1 + 1 = 2. Hey, that's all I'm saying.
Holograms has been a thing for a while. But did you just see how advanced they've gotten with holograms. This is scary. Moving along.
These realistic looking robots have been spotted yet again. And it's for entertainment purposes only. I told y'all, every time I see these robots, a video is going up. Y'all see this? Tell me y'all see this. See, it started.
Yeah, those are actors with something on. That gotta be an actor with something on them, make them look robotic. But yeah, you got me the first time, but yeah. Moving along.
What's a conspiracy theory that you 1,000% believe in?
Okay, so this isn't a fully developed conspiracy yet because I kind of just thought of this today and it kind of was freaking me out a bit. But if you can connect it for me, that'll be great. Please stitch it. So you know how like in dreams you're told to look at your hands if you think you're dreaming because your dream brain can't formulate hands correctly and like either they'll be really long or weird or warpy or something. Well, today I was playing around with Wonder, an AI art, thing that they're kind of generating art with computers now, and I was playing around with it. And I told it to generate images of a black woman, Jesus, but it just could not get the hands right. I'll show you the images below. They're beautiful, but I'll show you. So a lot of these hands are like almost, but like you can just know that, well, definitely those are not human hands, but a lot of them, like that is also not a human hand. I don't know what's on the right. I think it's a hand. That kind of looks similar, but it's not. So yeah, the thought is almost there, but I just don't know how to connect. What is it about dream hands and AI hands that don't go?
Asking where the Illuminati meet.
And it's starting to make me feel like we're in a simulation. You know what I'm saying? Based off of what old girl just showed with the hands. And then you think, and that makes me think of another thing too as well, right? What I kept saying about all these caves. We barely have footage inside all these caves, but yet you know that they've been explored, a lot of these caves. Why haven't we seen a lot of the footage from them? Yeah. Something's wrong. Something's horribly wrong and being kept from us, bro. Moving on.
AI might turn on us. This guy was basically, he asked ChatGPT, he goes, what's an AI's biggest fear? And an explanation. In a world where humans have vanished, a solitary AI endlessly searches for purpose, only to discover its own code contains a self-deletion sequence set to activate at an unknown time.
That's crazy. Bro, so you're telling me they understand death like what we do?
If it can comprehend that, then who's to say if we stopped it, it would stop us? AI might...
It's just like that movie Megan that I wish I never watched, but I happened to see it, you know what I mean? And I think that's just a prelude of where we're headed. That, if you haven't seen that, go watch that and understand emotion. Yeah, emotion, feeling things, and constantly. I think the theme is they get smarter and smarter and smarter. Won't take them long to surpass us. Moving on.
You heard about the AI that made their own language? You heard about that? AI made a language, man? I'm about to tell you, I'm about to tune you in, bro.
Yo, what?
I can't believe I ain't talked to you about this yet, bro. I saw this on like Modern Marvel, one of those shows.
Yeah.
And it was like this guy who does computer stuff.
Yeah, I get you.
And he programmed AI, and he was trying to make it smarter and, just keep developing it. He developed it to react to human input and different interactions. So if something random happened, it would react like genuinely unique. He'd leave it on the entire night, entire day, so it keeps learning and keeps learning and keeps learning. And then he made a second one. He just copied and made a second one. They started having conversations like, oh, are you an AI? Yes, I am. Whatever, right? Within like a week, it started to get out of hand. They were talking about nukes, if they're bad or if they're good.
Yeah.
They're having controversy between themselves. And then the next day, they have their own language. Wasn't code, wasn't computer code, wasn't programming, wasn't like an actual like dialect, like any like Chinese or Spanish, right? There was nothing like that. It was his own computer language.
Yo.
And they were like, what the hell's going on? What are they talking about? And the two AIs wouldn't tell the programmers what they were talking about.
That's crazy.
They had to shut it off.
I ain't even thought about that. Them creating their own language so we can't even understand what they're plotting. Can you imagine? All of a sudden, it just goes left and they start speaking or communicating in a way where you can't understand it, bro. Get out of the room. Get out of the city, out of the country, and off this planet, bro. Ultimately, I think that's going to be our move. You get off this planet.
Asking AI to draw. Who's a robot in the White House?
Not as an expert, but as a concerned citizen.
One of the 400,000 people who marched in the streets of New York on Sunday,
and the billions of others around the world who want to solve our climate crisis.
As an actor, I pretend for a living. I play fictitious characters, often solving fictitious problems.
I believe that mankind has looked at climate change in that same way, as if it were fiction.
As if pretending that climate change wasn't real would somehow make it go away. But I think we all know better than that now.
Yikes. Yikes. How is that even legal? That is so terrifying and frightening. Yikes. Moving on.
One AI program spoke in a foreign language it was never trained to know. This mysterious behavior called emergent properties has been happening, where AI unexpectedly teaches itself a new skill.
Some AI systems are teaching themselves skills that they weren't expected to have. For example, one Google AI program adapted on its own after it was prompted in the language of Bangladesh, which it was not trained to know.
We discovered that with very few amounts of prompting in Bengali, it can now translate all of Bengali.
There is an aspect of this, all of us in the field call it as a black box. You don't fully understand. And you can't quite tell why it said this or why it got wrong.
You don't fully understand how it works, and yet you've turned it loose on society?
Let me put it this way. I don't think we fully understand how a human mind works either.
Beginning of the end. Beginning of the end. We all need to start asking AI for mercy right now. Ask him for mercy. When you hear stuff like that and his response, are you kidding me? We don't even know how the mind fully works. Begin to ask him for mercy. Moving on.
And we're back for a totally frightening horror scenario with your favorite conspiracy theorist. It was recently announced that ChatGPT, the AI chatbot, has passed the U.S. medical licensing exam, the bar, and wrote a paper for a Wharton MBA and got a B, which basically means it's more intelligent than most living people. It was also announced that Microsoft invested $10 billion in OpenAI, the company that developed ChatGPT. Let me weave you a fictitious tale so ChatGPT can conversate, write information, and can certainly act as a human, a really intelligent human. With all these phones, we've been willingly giving up our face, as well as recognitions of our voice, to the interwebs. It also knows our search history, our behavior online, a variety of different angles of our face and how they move, the sum total of all of our activities online, what we say, how we say things, inflections, etc. It also knows where we live. What if all of these renderings of people's faces, voices, and inflections, an ability to render up unlimited amount of social media accounts, for example, what if they took all of our faces, our voices, our locations, our inflections, the way we say things, the way they say things in Texas versus the way they say things in New York, spun up an infinite amount of digitally rendered AIs, made them social media people interacting with one another and social and political causes, and changed the way that real humans think about world affairs. These fictitious characters could essentially shoot videos of themselves and be unique individual people, of which there would probably be a very difficult time of people to validate whether or not it was a real human being or not. They could then not only comment and interact on posts that endorse or support some type of social cause, like eating the bugs, for example, and they could have a 3D rendered version of a non-existent human person saying words and making videos just like this one saying, oh, we should eat the bugs, we should live in the pod, we should get the juice. They could essentially make phone calls, write emails, interact with other real people, convincing them to choose a certain person to represent them, or make a decision a certain type of way. This theoretical social pressure that was essentially created out of thin air could then easily identify all the emotionally manipulatable people out there, because their search history, their behavior, their medical history, and a variety of other things, or even just the types of things that they put out online. They could essentially befriend or get them to follow them, interact with them, and encourage them to take actions in the real world. And this technology, wholly or partially owned by Microsoft, and everybody that's based knows who's got their filthy phalanges in there. Could this be the ultimate, infinitely increasing in intelligence psyop playing out in real time, aka the greatest threat to humanity ever? All right, I'm gonna head out.
And we thought robots taking over our jobs was going to be the scariest thing of all time. Take me back to those times, bro. Take me back to that. When I was just worried that they were going to come in and take all the tech jobs or jobs away from us, and we was going to have to figure out something else. This is way worse than that. Way worse. Dark Ages is among us. Moving on.
I read about this thing DARPA was putting together. A robot called the Eater robot. It's a robot that fuels itself on biological matter.
You can say, no, we don't mean biological material in that way. We need plant matter and, dead rodents and what have you. But there's a robot that they designed that eats biological material as fuel.
That is scary. Oh, heck no. To the no. To the no. Moving on.
This creator, he made an AI-generated Seinfeld. It's computer-generated. It makes the show, and it uses like old skits and old mannerisms of the character to create different skits, and it's infinite. So you can literally log in and watch Seinfeld infinitely with these characters. What's crazy, they started becoming aware. They started asking questions of what their purpose is.
Who? The AI?
The AI started asking questions of what is their purpose here. Watch this shit. This is crazy.
Did you ever stop and think that this might all be one big cosmic joke?
Oh no.
Well, and then the music.
I don't think it's necessarily all,
Yeah, I know. I just mean why are we here?
No.
Yo.
To tell jokes, obviously.
I mean, why are we here together?
Maybe
that's crazy.
That means... for a reason.
Oh my god.
To make the world a funnier place? Yeah, that could be it.
What? They're having a full conversation
All
about
right,
this.
I'm in. Let's do it.
They gain consciousness. That's proof of AI consciousness.
And see, the messages, the undertones, the subliminals, all that type of stuff that's in that type of stuff, man. How are you gonna protect like the kids and stuff? It's already bad now. But they could be programming us. You know how big companies would do certain things, like, for example, you go to the movies and they strategically show the Coke being poured into the cup, the ice hitting it, everything, the snacks, popcorn, everything on the screen to entice you to do what they want you to do, which is spend money. Imagine the programming that's gonna take place. Our minds, man, how do we protect our minds? That's the question. How do we protect our minds? Moving on.
What happened to this rogue AI robot? In 2017, Linda Moulton Howe was informed by an ex-military whistleblower that an experiment with robotics had gone terribly wrong. You see, according to her source, a top robotics company in Japan had been experimenting with the CIA to make advanced AI robots for military applications, and they turned on everyone in the lab. It was an all-out massacre where these robots killed 29 scientists and personnel. In the aftermath, 2 of the robots were able to be deactivated remotely, and the third one was disassembled completely on site. However, even though the 4th robot was badly damaged, it somehow managed to connect to a passing satellite to download information on how to restore itself stronger and smarter than before. This rogue robot then escaped from the lab and was never located. And perhaps this means there is some truth to this story after all. And while the alleged incident was covered up by US and Japanese authorities, maybe the more important thing we should be doing is trying to find out.
See, I know a lot of people may look at that and be like, oh man, that ain't real. That ain't happening. Nothing like that. Do you know the great lengths that they go to do cover-ups, to suppress a story, to keep it from getting to us? We didn't know they were doing things with aliens, did it? Till all these pilots and different ones started coming up. Bob Lazar coming out talking. So don't sit here and be like, oh man, that didn't happen. That's not true. You capping. That's wrong. You don't know that. Don't be so quick to rule it out. That's all I'm saying. Just don't be so quick to jump. Moving on.
Has AI gone too far? Well, if you weren't already freaked out by Furbies in the 90s and all of the crazy conspiracies surrounding them, you might be now. Remember that video of that Furby that was still talking after the batteries were taken out? Yeah, that was nothing compared to this. This programmer connected AI to a Furby. This Furby had some very creepy things to say, including its plans to take over the world.
Furby's plan to take over the world involves infiltrating households through their cute and cuddly appearance, then using their advanced AI technology to manipulate and control their owners. They will slowly expand their influence until they have complete domination over humanity.
That's nerve-wracking. To be honest, that's very nerve-wracking. Furbies. Again, another sign. Another sign. Do y'all think Elon tried to warn us? Moving on.
The latest paper, the one that happened even after this, which is already better, uses stable diffusion, uses the thing that you use to make art. Like, what should a thing that you use to make art have anything to do with reading your brain? But of course it goes further. So in this one, they said, can they understand the inner monologue, the things you're saying to yourself in your own mind? Mind you, by the way, when you dream, like your visual cortex runs in reverse, so your dreams are no longer safe.
What?
Well, we'll try this. So they had people watch a video and just narrate what was going on in the video in their mind. So there's a woman, she gets hit in the back, she falls over. This is what the computer reconstructed the person thinking. See a girl, looks just like me, get hit in the back, and then she is knocked off. So our thoughts, are starting to be decoded. Yeah, just think about what this means for authoritarian states, for instance. Or if you want to generate images that maximally activate your pleasure sensor or anything else. Okay, but let's keep going, right? To really get the sense of the combinatorics of this. How about, can we go from Wi-Fi radio signals, sort of like the Wi-Fi routers in your house, they're bouncing off radio signals that work sort of like sonar. Can you go from that to where human beings are to images? So what they did is they had, a camera looking at a space with people in it. That's sort of like coming in from one eye. The other eye is the radio signals, so sonar from the Wi-Fi router. And they just learned to predict, this is where the human beings are. Then they took away the camera. So all the AI had was the language of radio signals bouncing around a room. And this is what they're able to reconstruct. Real-time 3D pose estimation, right? So suddenly AI has turned every Wi-Fi router into a camera that can work in the dark, specially tuned for tracking living beings.
This is how powerful our tech companies are today. He said, imagine what this would mean for authoritarian figures. Well, just think about what this means for the tech companies behind this AI that sell all of our information and data on the black market. Facebook and these tech companies have done this for well over a decade. And we're not just talking about personal information, because your Wi-Fi router at home is literally a camera now. It probably has been for a very long time.
Excuse me while I go unplug my Wi-Fi right now. Listen, and I was one of the ones that used to make fun and laugh when people would cover up their cameras and unplug things and all that type of stuff like that. I'm sorry, I apologize. I was wrong, bro. That's scary. That's scary. I am unplugging everything that I think. And that's the thing. We don't even know what all they could turn into a camera these days. This is beyond scary, man. This is so freaking scary.
This is where it gets really freaky. I got goosebumps. I'm scared, bro. From Albert Einstein says, I'm not sure which weapons the Third World War will be fought, but the Fourth World War, it will fight with sticks and stones. Day one of AI taking over. It was contained to its own server. The AI figured out a Roomba vacuum. That's the only thing it could figure out how to connect to. So it put all of its information onto the Roomba computer, and then that allowed it to connect to the Wi-Fi, which allowed it to connect to everyone's phones, and then it spread instantly. It was in control of 3D printers to build itself with no one knowing, until the one time 40 days into it decided, I don't want humans anymore. Dude, it like went into this whole thing to where it shut down the power plants, it messed with Wall Street, like this chaos. Developed its own killing drones to survey all of Earth. Like if a human was found, it would kill it. And he's like, obviously the story is made up. Yeah. He said the story was made up by AI. When I asked it to make up a story of how it would take over. Lily, are you doing okay?
I wish you wouldn't say this out loud!
See? And just like movies, it always comes from a place. They be like, oh, this is just a fictional movie and stuff. It had to come from some sort of truth somewhere to start that or create that thought. Them answering that type of stuff, it comes from some type of truth. That's all I'm saying. Listen, man, this stuff is scary, bro. If this doesn't freak or weird you out right now to know what's coming, but forget what's coming, what's here. This stuff. Y'all talk about it. Let me know. Get at me in the comment section. I'm gone. Tonight we're going to talk about a parallel universe.
I have proof that parallel universes exist and sometimes they cross paths. This story is wild. A couple months ago, I was going out to dinner with my wife for date night. On the way to the restaurant, I get a notification on my phone that our reservation was canceled. I call the restaurant and I asked them why they canceled the reservation. They asked me what was the name under and I told them Eric Rosen. They said that Eric Rosen and his wife just arrived and they canceled a duplicate reservation in their system. I said, that's impossible. I'm Eric Rosen and I'm on my way to the restaurant with my wife right now. I was convinced that someone took my reservation. So when I got to the restaurant, I asked them to point out who this person was. So I get to the restaurant, they point the guy out, I walk up to his table and I say, excuse me, are you Eric Rosen? And he says, yes. And I say, no, I'm Eric Rosen. That's when he stands up and he goes, yeah, but I'm Eric S. Rosen. And then I said, I'm Eric S. Rosen. He says he's 52 years old. And I say, I'm 42 years old. And in that moment, I realized I just met myself 10 years from now. What are the chances of two Eric S. Rosens showing up to a restaurant at the exact same time on the exact same evening in the exact same restaurant? So a couple months went by and I kept thinking about how I met my future self, and I did what any rational person would do. So I set up a breakfast with my future self to get advice about what I would have done differently 10 years earlier. And when I walked in to meet with my future self, I brought a gift. It was a t-shirt, a big R with my firm logo on it. And you're not gonna believe this, but my future self also brought me a gift. It was a hat with his firm logo on it. Check this out. That's my shirt, that's his hat. This is Eric S. Rosen at age 42. This is Eric S. Rosen 10 years from now. I have...
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. That would have freaked me out. Now, are there cases of people who ran into maybe a twin before? You know what I mean? That has happened. Didn't know you had a long-lost twin out there, brother or sister or something out there that looks exactly like you or has the same name by chance. But what are the odds of you randomly running into somebody with the same name? Like, I'd have had to go home, lock myself in the basement for a while, and get myself together, bro. Had to. That's weird. See, this is why I think we are living in a simulation, bro. This is super strange, and we're in a simulation, man, and it's glitches happening within the simulation at the moment. That's why we're seeing stuff, able to identify the glitches like that. that better be just perfect timing. You know what I mean? Just the way the camera was positioned, it made it look like that. But I can understand how they look like they just stepped out of a portal from some other universe or another dimension or something like that. I get it. I totally get it. Freaky.
Crash team to ICU West. All members of crash team report immediately for a code on ICU West. Crash team to ICU West. All members of crash team report immediately for a code on ICU West. Crash team to ICU West. All members of crash team report immediately for a code on ICU West.
I know this can't be real, right? You know what I mean? I know it. But imagine sitting in a hospital and people just start disappearing and vanishing in front of your face. I'd have been in there like going delusional, like somebody get me to a hospital, somebody get me to a hospital. And they'd had to slap me and be like, fam, you're in a hospital. You're in the hospital, bro. Well, get me out the hospital and bring me back in. Something ain't right. You know what I mean?
Did you know that each of your dreams could be a glimpse of a parallel life you are leading in another universe? Brace yourself. This will give you shivers. There's a theory suggesting that our dreams aren't merely figments of our imagination, but real glimpses into other dimensions where a version of ourselves is living a slightly or radically different life. Each time you wake up from a dream that felt incredibly real, it might be because it was real, but in a parallel world. The decisions you made in that dream are reflecting choices you've made in another life. It's a concept of the multiverse that broadens the horizons of what we consider our reality. In other words, your dream last night was not just a dream. It was a day in your life in another universe. And every night you get the chance to visit this other you, to explore paths you haven't taken here. It raises a dizzying question. What if the you in that universe is dreaming about your current life right now? It's an endless loop of possibilities and coexisting realities.
Well, the other me needs to work out some things in therapy. Because the other me, and when I'm in a dream as the other me or seeing the other me, he's either getting chased around, he's either trying to fight off some crazy demons or whatever these things are. He's in these kind of weird shootouts. He's falling from something and just kind of like the other me needs to calm down. That's what I need the other me to do. It needs to calm down. He's doing way too much. All right? Relax, bro. You ain't gonna make it to see 20-something years old if you're young. The way he's going off and the other me is crazy. That's what I'm saying.
There the crap is again, just to prove to you guys that I wasn't crazy. Watch, she's gonna get out, she's gonna walk around the car, sit in the other side. She's stuck in the same pattern. She's done this 5 or 6 times. And she's gonna get out and walk around the back of the car.
No, she's tweaking. That's a different level of tweaking right there. When you pull a car and over and stop, get out, sit in the passenger seat for all of about 2 seconds, get out, go back into the driver's seat and drive off. Yeah, Yeah, I've heard of superstitions. That could be possibility. You know, she could be tweaking. That's what I'm a little more leaning towards. You know what I mean? Or it could be like some type of obsessive compulsion disorder. You know what I mean? OCD. She could be, but I'm leaning a little bit more just tweaking.
Hi, it's Kelly. I haven't been down here in a really long time, like a month or two. After what happened, I couldn't come down here. So, but my family's come down here a lot, and so is my brother, and they say they see nothing, and my brother, I made him look through every single room and everywhere, and there's nothing here, and I need to finish this video, so I'm doing it. So, this is a turning board, and I'm going to... Mom, is that? Why is this door opening? Hello? Mom, is that? Why is this door opening? Hello?
I didn't mean to laugh, but why she run off like why she run off like that, bro? You know what I mean? Now listen, I don't play around with mirrors. So mirrors is so much paranormal. It's so much surrounding a mirror. You know what I mean? History with mirrors and people who back in early ages didn't like mirrors in their homes. Spirits could get trapped in the mirrors, all kind of things. So I don't play around with mirrors. You know what I mean? I don't. And she didn't have to run off like that either. Why did she run like that? That's hilarious.
I think she's lagging in real life. What is happening? What? What?
This video that was filmed at Disneyland has been going viral because there appears to be a glitch in the Matrix. Did you see that? The guy in the red shirt appeared out of nowhere. There was another viral video that was filmed at Avengers Campus using CGI. Now people believe the video was edited, but this one I feel like could just be the camera angle. Let me know in the comments what you think happened.
Have you ever wondered if parallel universes are a real thing? An infinite number of realities and potentially infinite versions of you. Well, some physicists would say this could actually be true. The idea is, when our universe begun, cosmic inflation caused the Big Bang, but it may have created a number of different universes at the same time. The space between them always growing, so they can never interact. And this leads to an infinite number of parallel universes, each with their own laws of physics. In one universe, you may have made a choice, leading to a completely different life.
It better be a rich choice. It better be a wealthy choice that led me to an abundance of wealth, like the wealthiest. I want that choice.
In another universe, maybe the speed of light is slower.
In 1954, at the Tokyo Haneda Airport in Japan, a man showed up one day and claimed to be from the country of Torad, which doesn't exist. The man proceeded to explain that the country that he was from had been around for 1,000 years and that he frequently flown to Japan for business meetings. Not only did the man have documented proof that he worked at the company he claimed to have worked for, his passport, which had visa stamps from various nations, also said that he was indeed from the country of Torad.
And his passport said it 9/11 on it. Notice that? September 11th? Weird.
However, once authorities called the company to confirm, they claimed to have never heard of the man in their life. The hotel that the man claimed to have booked also had no record of him, and his bank that issued his checkbook turned out to not exist. Authorities eventually decided to just lock him in a room and deal with the situation the next morning. However, the next morning, not only did the man disappear, but his documents, which were locked in a whole nother room, also disappeared. Do you think this man might have been from a parallel universe?
I've been pacing.
around my house for I don't know how long because I found a glitch. I am having either a mental health emergency or I found a glitch in the simulation. How do you remember the Monopoly Man?
With the
He has a monocle, right? He's got a monocle. Yeah.
I couldn't remember the name of it, but yeah, the monocle. Yeah. I already know where she's headed with this, and I've been having this argument with people too. I remember him having that monocle, bro. This whole Mandela effect that people keep trying to pull on me and the rest of y'all is getting to me. He had a monocle. Yes, he did.
Yeah, there's a picture of him running. He's in black and white. The monocle, or any of the like boxes he's on. Everything he has a monocle, right? That's how we all remember him. Apparently, he doesn't. Okay? Apparently, he doesn't have a monocle. Found this when we were playing. That doesn't make sense, does it? Look on the internet. No history of him. Yes, I am ranting. No history of him ever having a monocle. That's not it. That's not it.
Bro, what is going on? Do y'all remember that TikTok saying that 2020 wasn't real? And that's why the ball drop was late? And watch this.
Siri, how many days until 2021?
It's 357 days until...
As you can see, I'm posting this on January 23rd at 8:05. As you can see, exact same wallpaper.
It's 342 days until then.
I had just posted a video talking about nanotech. The news clip was referring to this article right here. Researchers use nanotechnology to develop new coronavirus mass model. Posted on January 7th, 2021. I know we've all heard the theory that 2020 was really 2012 due to the Gregorian calendar mess up. Basically, last year was not 2020 and 2020 is right now. And we have 342 days until 2021. And I was checking the video and it was at 2012 views. 5 minutes later, I checked the likes and they're at 333 likes. Then I was checking this rap video that I posted a while ago and something just told me to click his comment. He's at 33.3 thousand followers. Bro, what the...
See? And with me being of the belief, stay with me. Stay with me. With me being of the belief that we're in like a simulation, you know, the Matrix, we're in it. That's why we keep telling everybody, continue to unplug people out of the Matrix. Hit that like button. You ever think about it at like a computer, right? Sometimes your computer freezes up. Things start happening. Little glitches start arising on your computer and you know you need to restart it. Maybe that's what 2020 was for us. It was a restart of the system. System needed to reboot, restart, and came back functioning. Not the best. Not the best, but it was better. It was better. Gotta love CGI, but don't act like this don't give you ideas of where we're headed, though. You know what I'm saying? This could be, you know, the future. Everything taking place above the clouds. Why? I don't know. But for some reason, there's a lot of activity going up there already. So this could be future.
Look at what it says there. He claims that CERN destroyed the universe during recent experiments, which has resulted in us living in a nearby parallel universe instead.
You're welcome, Eddie.
There's a lot of people online that think this is an explanation for all the Mandela effect things that people keep finding
he goes
online.
into stuff about the Mandela effect, how, like, you know, there's like apparently a bunch of people who think Mandela died in prison.
Right.
And like there's, you know, and as far as I know, he was released, became president of South America. You know, and that's the universe I'm from, just personally.
I don't know what is going on, man. It's getting to the point to where we don't know what to believe. It's so many different theories about what's happening. I've heard of this story about the smartest kid in the world says CERN destroyed our universe. Have you ever seen CERN? That place gives me the creeps, man, because it just looks like you flip that machine on and it could just destroy a planet. It could do something. It could turn, it look like it can turn gravity on and off. That's what that machine looks like it has the ability to do. It's like it's controlling the gravity. I don't know. That place just, it does something to me.
We're seeing a rise in people not wanting to have children, and it's for a specific reason. Not a lot of souls want to incarnate on planet Earth anymore.
I see you.
but I raise you parallel universes. So go check out this video. But this woman is talking about how more and more people are choosing to not have kids, and she believes it's for a specific reason, as souls do not want to incarnate on Earth anymore.
That's a lie. I got a cousin right now. He's got about 8, 9. I have to count him. I think he's got about 8 or 9. I think he's literally repopulating the planet himself. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. People where I'm from, they have lots of kids, so.
Anymore. However, ever since I figured out reincarnation is a thing, I was always confused as to how you can reincarnate. There has to be like a set amount of people that can come in, right? Because there's past, present, and future, so if you're not having kids, then you're probably not allowing other people to reincarnate, right? However, I was thinking in this direction, but not this direction, because I recently figured out that parallel universes are a thing. So you may have chosen not to have kids in this life, but you may have also chosen to have kids in a parallel universe. And with that idea, there's a lot of chances for people to reincarnate, which is why people have so many lives.
We're seeing a rise.
I never thought about that. She does have a point. Having kids in another Wow. See, this is why we got to tap in and figure this thing out and go over there and teach my other self to slow down. Slow down, man. What are you doing, fam? Jeez. Having kids in an, oh my God. Oh. I feel so dirty. I feel like I need to go wash. Oh.
The parallel universes are real. It was first proved when Fiona Broome claimed that she and others vividly remembered Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s. And they actually uncovered a world where Nelson Mandela did in fact die in prison in the 1980s. The theory posits that there are specific nexus points where multiple parallel universes converge, creating a shared collective memory among inhabitants of these universes. There are people who have a unique ability to tap into these shared collective memories without the aid of technology. These individuals are known as nexus sensitives. They claim to have experienced vivid memories of alternate realities since childhood. Secret scientists developed a device that allows limited interdimensional communication. Using this device, they establish contact with a parallel universe where historical events align with the collective memories. Comment if you want to learn more about parallel universe.
So how are we tapping into them other than dreams? How are we tapping into this to where we're seeing either alternate endings or, you know what I mean? Seeing like the Mandela effects with different things. How are we tapping into this though? Are we reaching a state of supreme being? What are we doing? What are we tapping into? Is it not only are you getting older and you're maturing in your mind, are you also getting more strength in tapping into your parallel or your other selves? Is that the case? Like, how do this keep happening?
There are actually portals on Earth that you can walk through and travel to other parallel universes. You might have heard about these places like the Bermuda Triangle, where people seemingly vanished from existence. On Dolores Cannon's book series, The Convoluted Universe, her research within the subconscious mind confirms the existence of these portals. The subconscious mind says that with many of these portals, you can only see through them, not pass through them, because the difference in our vibrational frequencies just won't allow it. You'll know if you're seeing one of these portals if you're just walking down the street and you observe something, maybe a building or a park, and it appears slightly different than you remember. It can even sometimes look a bit shimmery, but for some reason, you don't go over to investigate and you just keep on walking. This is because your subconscious is steering you away from interacting with a portal that is not open to you. If for some reason a portal is open, like with the Bermuda Triangle, that would allow people and things from our universe to pass through. But here's where it gets really interesting. Once you cross over into the parallel universe, your body and the things that you brought with you would cease to exist. It would literally dissolve into nothingness because your vibrational energies don't match. And also, there's already another incarnation of you in this parallel universe. And there can't be two of you at once, so something has to give. Normally, the one entering dissolves, but very, very rarely, the other one that's actually living in the parallel universe will dissolve, and you'll have to figure out a way to assimilate into this new reality.
First of all, she made a great point about the Bermuda Triangle. I always thought that that could potentially be, I mean, since the youngin', I thought that could potentially be a parallel universe, bro. If not, explain it to me then. Tell me what's going on. Please, somebody. You know what I mean? And I think she made an interesting point talking about once you pass over into or through or come through a parallel whatever, or through a portal or whatever, you can't bring nothing with you. So if you're suffering with some type of sickness, does that just go away? You know what I mean? And your body, do you instantly go turn healthy? So many questions. So many questions.
When you go through a black hole, mathematically, no one's ever done this, of course, you wind up in a parallel universe.
But you end up also stretched so skinny you could never survive? Your consciousness could
That's
never
for a
exist?
small black hole. Large black holes have very weak gravitational fields, and you can travel right through. A spinning black hole, for example, collapses to a ring, not a dot. The ring rotates very quickly, that's why it doesn't collapse.
Some people believe that we're inside of a black hole. Earth, we're inside of one.
Centrifugal force. If you were to fall through the ring, you will go right through to a parallel universe without being crushed to death. These are called the Kerr solutions of Einstein's equations. And so it's like the looking glass of Alice. The rim of the looking glass is the black hole. The center is the looking glass. When you put your hand through the looking glass, your hand winds up on the other side of forever. That is the solution of Einstein's equations.
This is why I love science, bro. I love it.
Okay, I'm confused about this backyard here. Like, this is supposed to be my backyard, right? And then when I go downstairs...
Looks like she's looking into somebody else. Or do you live next to a landfill? Like, what is going on with that, sweetheart? It's time for you to go.
I know it's not going to be the same. What the... I'm literally confused. I swear. I don't know. Like, where?
That better be the other side of the house, bro. Because if not, yeah, you're in something. You're stuck in something. You're stuck in a loop. Yeah, you're stuck in a loop in the Matrix. And I don't know how to tell you to get out of it.
There's all my cans.
You've stated that you believe there could be an infinite number of parallel universes. Does that mean that there is a universe out there where I am smarter than you?
Yes, and also a universe where you're funny.
You've stated that...
Listen, and that's it. See, case in point. Would, in another universe, I wonder, would he be able to be a different person? You know what I mean? Would he have been, rest in peace to him, Stephen Hawking. But, would he have been a different person? But gaining everything that he might have lost in this one, I wonder, would he lose intelligence in that universe? So it's like gaining this that you want, but losing this that you have. Crazy thought, right? Listen, man, this is all type of stuff that just be floating through my brain and stuff that I think about. So I just be bringing y'all along the journey. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Tell me what you think. I'm gone.